Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Greetings, one and all. Welcome to another episode of the New Fangled Motion Picture Show. I'm Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And we're going to be reviewing the best Nicolas Cage movie of 2018. Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse.
Yeah.
Also has Mahershala Ali in it. That dude just keeps popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is fine, he's a great actor. Put him in everything.
Yep. Nicolas Cage. It's very obviously Nicolas Cage. He's the voice of Spider-Man Noir.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, he said like in the movie, he said like one line, I'm like, who is that? Then he said a second, I'm like, it's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, you can just tell. Even voicing a cartoon character still manages to be pretty cagey.
Yeah, he just sounds like Nicolas Cage.
Yep. So we're gonna be doing our normal thing where we do spoiler-free review, then give you a spoiler warning, and then go more in depth into the movie. So without further ado, I'm gonna point out this movie has an 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
It's
totally deserved.
Yeah,
totally deserved.
This is a good movie.
This is a really good movie. I think it does help having an understanding of the Marvel multiverse. At least just that there are a bunch of them, and each one is very different from the others. Except for Ultimate in the original universe.
That's 616 and 1616.
Yeah.
Right?
So, 616 is the...
original.
Was, before
Yeah.
Secret Wars happened, and then Battle World, and then we're back to one big Earth where all the characters from all the universes all the comic universes.
All the comic books are together in one universe.
They're all in one universe now, or they died.
Yeah.
Like, because there's some pretty weird out there Marvel universes, like Spider-Ham. You know, I'm pretty sure he didn't survive.
Or he's still in his own universe. But yeah, so this has various... Let's see, you have various spider people in it. There's a multi-dimensional crossover thing happens, and so you have Spider-Man from 616, and then Miles Morales, who's from 1616, and then Spider-Gwen, or Spider-Woman as she calls him, but the comic she's from is Spider-Gwen, because it's what if Gwen Stacy were bitten by a Spider-Man, by the radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker? And then you have Spider-Man Noir, which is this Spider-Man world that's all like noir detective set in the 1930s.
And aesthetically, it looks like Sin City.
Yeah, it's like that. And then Spider-Ham, who is a anthropomorphic. Yeah, it's like a Looney Tunes kind of world, and Spider-Man is actually an anthropomorphic pig. They make kind of jokes to that point. Like at one point he says, "That's all, folks," and like Spider-Man's like, "Can you like legally say that?"
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And then one I was not familiar with, and it's Penny Parker is the character, and so the world she's in is like she might be from that I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe that same universe as Big Hero 6 or something. It's like a Neo Sokyo thing, or
she's from like.
I could be completely wrong on that. I'm just guessing at that.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with this version of.
Right, in her universe though, it's the future, and definitely get the idea that maybe that comic in particular was a manga or manga. However it's pronounced, I don't know. Manga. I'm not weeb enough to know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, she's probably just there to appeal to the Japanese fan base. This is a Sony picture after all.
Right. But, I mean, but she doesn't actually have any powers.
She has a telekinetic link to a spider.
Yeah, she befriended the radioactive spider.
Who controls
a robot.
Yeah.
A mech. What was it, the... Arachno Goliath or something like that is what it said on the...
She, like, uses her link to the radioactive spider to pilot the mech.
Yeah. Anyway, but... So as long as you're just... At least, you don't necessarily need to know, of these universes. Just know that in the comics...
There are multiple universes.
And unlike,
they explain that in the movie too, so it's not like you're going in blind, like where are all these spider people coming from.
But it does help, like, you understand that, like, why that you get some particularly big deviations from, you know, the standard Spider-Man comics, like you have in the, you know, Sunday paper comics. They still run that?
No.
Oh, damn.
It's been years. At least around here.
Yeah. Anyway, but the, you know, it's pretty interesting. Like, I was worried that it was just going to be too much. You know, like, that it was just going to be too, you know, how am I trying to word this?
Too
like
full?
Like, yeah. I mean, the story is about Miles Morales.
Yeah, I want to throw this out. I know, like, a lot of people on the internet early on, I don't know if this is still a thing, but when they first started showing trailers for this movie, there were a lot of people out there upset, thinking that they had changed Peter Parker's race to be a black kid. And people were upset and like, no, Peter Parker had always been this white kid from Queens. Why is he this black kid now? Well, that's not Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It's a completely different character.
Yeah.
His name's Miles Morales. He's half black, half Puerto Rican.
Yep.
And that world still also does have a Peter Parker in it.
Right.
So just, you know, don't, if you think that they like changed Peter Parker's race just to appeal to the SJWs or whatever you think happened, that's not the case. This is a whole new character. He's been in the comics for many years now.
Yeah, in fact, the universe that Miles Morales is from was first created with Ultimate Spider-Man, which came out the first issue came out the same week as the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. And that they had Peter Parker for a long time. He died in that universe.
It was a big deal.
It was
the death of Spider-Man. It was a big deal.
And then Miles Morales, who was also bitten by a different spider from that same experiment that created the one that created Peter Parker, or created Spider-Man from Peter Parker. He was bitten by a different spider, and then he also has spider powers.
Yeah. So
enough of the backstory on that. This takes those characters and kind of, it's not the same story, but it's sort of like fits it into this movie.
Well, as far as the Peter Parker in this movie that like is from that universe.
It's from the Ultimate Universe.
It's from the Ultimate Universe. His story is like, his origin is the same, but like what happens to him during the story is a little bit different. Pretty much everyone else is pretty faithful to their comic adaptations.
Yeah.
You know, until they get sucked into this other dimension.
Right.
But yeah, it's I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. Like, it was just
the movie was really fun.
The animation was really amazing.
Yeah, it just very, very unique. I hadn't seen anything quite like it before, and like stylistically.
It looks like an animated comic book.
Yeah, when you get up close, especially, and it's funny because there'd be like these like registration errors, like, you know, where like the ink is like offset a little bit from the like one color is offset a little bit because the registration was wrong. That'll pop up, and then like you look at them, and like Noir Spider-Man is stippled.
Yeah,
like all his like texturing is stippled.
Because that's how comic print and newsprint was done at the time.
Yeah, and then you look at like they all have a slightly different style from the different world. Like Spider-Ham clearly looks like much more like a cartoon than even this cartoon does. I mean, it's all animated. It's obviously a cartoon, but Spider-Ham,
he's a very different animation style.
He's like looks almost 2D.
Yeah, it's all like very fluid with his movements.
And very,
like,
very.
Everyone else is sort of it's like a low frame rate almost.
Yeah,
you know.
But there's a lot of comic book textures on things, and then thought bubbles will like pop up in places sometimes, or sound effects will pop up. Yeah, it looks like a moving comic book. It's really cool to look at.
Yeah.
But the movie is just fun in general. There's a lot of humor in there. But it's not like a full-on comedy. There's still like some dangerous stuff going on. There's
really cool fight sequences,
some emotional scenes. Yeah, it's all in all, this is probably
like people are calling it the best Spider-Man movie. Now, I loved Homecoming. In this, I would say is at least tied with Homecoming.
Yeah, this is
as far as best Spider-Man movie. I mean, it's just really well done. I mean, Spider-Man Homecoming is probably the best Spider-Man movie that like is trying to be a serious movie.
Right. This isn't exactly trying to be a serious movie. I mean, that's the thing with animation, though. You can go weird with it in places a lot easier. And there's a lot of in-jokes.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the Marvel Universe or the comics and everything, there's some in-jokes in there that are really pretty good. So I definitely recommend going to see this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. So hope a spoiler warning.
Yeah, spoiler warning.
Let's see some of the pretty good jokes in here. Oh, and we were laughing really hard when Spider-Man Noir shows up, and they're all looking at him like, "Is he in black and white? What? Why is his coat blowing? Where's that wind coming from? We're in a basement."
Yeah.
He's like, "Wherever I go, the wind follows."
Yeah, like I said, he, despite being a cartoon character, he still manages to be pretty cagey.
He's very, yeah, you can just tell Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it was awesome too. Is when Miles Morales' uncle, who was in Spider-Man: Homecoming, he was played by
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, and he was that guy that Spider-Man, that Peter Parker like webbed to the hood of that, or the trunk of that car.
It's like, oh man, I got ice cream in here.
Yeah, he's like, it'll dissolve in 3 hours. It's like, I got ice cream, man. Yeah, and that was Miles Morales' uncle, Aaron. Just Aaron, right? It's just his
Uncle Aaron, yeah.
Presumably, probably the same last name, Aaron Morales, I would guess.
Well, his dad's last name is Davis.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. His mother's last name Morales. I don't know.
Oh yeah, his mom's last name is Morales. So I guess he has his mom's last name.
I guess I'm not really fully familiar with the character, or at least his origins. He pops up in like regular Marvel stuff now and again too. So
yeah, the only thing I've read with Miles Morales was Gwenpool. He was only in it for like 2 or 3 issues.
Yeah,
and she basically comes in and completely just like ruins his life over the course of her interaction with him. And that was about the only thing I've read with Miles Morales. But so I don't know, maybe it's his stepdad?
I don't think so.
I don't know. But yeah, so presumably I guess Aaron probably had the same last name as his dad, Davis, right?
Yeah.
But he in this he's also the villain, the Prowler. And so he escaped. Let's see. Like, yeah, he goes to his uncle's apartment when shit starts going down because he looks up to his, like, he likes his uncle, you know, and
he goes to hide out there. Then the Prowler shows up. He doesn't know it's his uncle at first till his uncle takes off his mask. Then he goes running from him. His uncle doesn't know it's Miles.
Yeah, and goes chasing after because he just sees it's Spider-Man. And so he shows up at Aunt May's house where all the other spider people are. And he runs in the door and he's like, "My uncle's the Prowler, and he tried to attack me and all this." And Nora Spider-Man just goes, "Wow, his origin story's real dark." That's really funny.
I don't think he can see color too, because this part he has this Rubik's cube. He's like, "What color is this? Is this purple? No. Is it red? No."
Yeah. So that was a really funny scene.
Yeah, and then anything with Spider-Ham is usually pretty funny. Like there's a part of the end they're saying his goodbye, and he pulls out this mallet from behind his back. He's like, I want you to have this. It'll fit in your pocket.
Yeah. He drops an anvil on Scorpion.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, like that's Spider-Man, though. He is a Looney Tunes character as Spider-Man.
Right.
Is what they're going for with him. So he's just, like, constantly pulling stuff out of Hammer Space. I'm surprised at no point did he, like, pull a pie out and hit someone with it or something.
Yeah, that would have been funny. That's when he goes, that's all, folks, and leaves. It's Peter Parker's like, can he, like, legally say that?
Yeah. Yeah, this movie is just a lot of fun. I mean, everyone was great. I mean, it's kind of refreshing just going into a Spider-Man movie, and it's like, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He's been Spider-Man. We don't need to go over it.
Well, it's funny the way they do that. He says, look, one last time, let's just go over it to get this out of the way. And he just briefly runs through the origin story. And
got bit by a radioactive spider.
Less than a minute or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, bit by and each time, it's a comic book that flops down.
Yeah.
And it's like
the first issue
of that character.
Of that version of
Spider-Man. Of that version of Spider-Man. So it flops down and...
But every time they reintroduce a new character, they're like, let's get this out of the way. And they like go through the origin story very briefly in just a few sentences. And they have like the comic book that they're from like flop down and like open up and it scrolls through the pages.
Yeah, and then like at the very end, like in the outro, Miles Morales is narrating it and he's like, so one more time. And each one is like, I got bit by a radioactive spider and for the last however long, so for the Ultimate Spider-Man is like for the last like 4 years or 6 years or whatever. He hadn't been in it that long, right?
No, he'd been in it for like over a decade by then.
Okay. Well, yeah. So however many.
But
years...
for like the first one, he's like for the past like 30 years or whatever it was.
Yeah, the one that you see in the trailer that's a slob and whatnot. Yeah, he's like...
Well, he's a slob because in that universe, Mary Jane he's divorced from Mary Jane, and so. Like a lot of guys do, and they just sort of like let themselves go when they're...
Yeah, he's all depressed and...
Yeah, and he's kind of got a gut, and he's trying to... Like, everyone keeps pointing it out, and he's like, no.
But yeah, and, you know, he's like, so for the last, like, 30 years or so, I've been the one and... And they always say, I was the one and only Spider-Man.
Yeah. Or Spider-Woman in the case of Gwen Stacy. So yeah, when it ends with Miles Morales, it's like, for the past 2 days...
Yeah, I've been the one and only Spider-Man.
The one and only Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Miles Morales has a really cool spider outfit. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, the black and red one.
Yeah, the black with the... Basically, it's like he did a color swap with the classic Spider-Man costume, almost.
Yeah.
But no blue, black instead of blue. But it's pretty cool that like spray paint effect, the way it looks on the spider on the chest.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it's really cool. And then at the very end of the end credit scene was the Universe 67.
Oh man, stay through the credits on this movie. Oh, it's so good. It had Miguel. He's like a Mexican Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And his outfit looks like a luchador version of the Spider-Man outfit.
Right. So then he goes
to Earth 67, which is the universe that is the cartoon from the 60s that everyone gets those memes from. The Spider-Man pointing at each other next to the stack of boxes, the Spider-Man sitting at a desk with a picture of himself in a frame behind him. Those are all from that 60s cartoon.
Yeah, there's a bunch of the shots from that that go through in the end credit sequence too.
Yeah.
And there's this running gag about like Spider-Man having recorded a Christmas album at one point and all this stuff. It's pretty funny. But yeah, he goes to Earth 67, so it's like him and Spider-Man.
They're like pointing at each other. Like, you pointed at me, well, you pointed at me. And it cuts to this cop standing there next to J. Jonah Jameson. And he's like, which one pointed first? And he goes, clearly Spider-Man pointed first.
But it's just... Yeah, it's this whole sequence and it's hilarious. Yeah, a lot of people got up and left like right at the credits. I'm like, guys, if you've never been to a Marvel movie before, where are you going?
Yeah. I was speaking of that. So we saw we saw Once Upon a Deadpool last night, and we're not going to review it because
the night before,
or yeah, a couple nights ago.
Nights ago, yeah.
We're not going to review it on here because it's Deadpool 2, basically.
Also, it's only one night, so...
Well, no, it's more now.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's more nights. But I think it's a pretty limited run from what I understand. So,
it's Deadpool 2.
It's Deadpool 2 with Fred Savage.
Yeah, there's some sequences in there that keep cutting back that spoofs Princess Bride.
And to make room for that, they cut some stuff down. Like the opening sequence is a lot shorter. It starts off with just that last part where the guys, the cartel dude's running through the facility to his safe room. And like that's where the movie, like that's where the actual like Deadpool part of the movie picks up. But if you have a chance to go see it, go do that and stay all the way to the end, all the way through the credits. Then there's a few seconds of black screen, and then there's a really touching tribute to Stan Lee at the end.
Yeah,
we were the only ones in our theater who stayed for it.
Yeah, and the cleaning guy comes in. He's like, "Oh, congratulations! You stayed through the end to see the."
He's like, "Yeah, you guys knew about the Seeker." It's like, "No, we didn't. We just always stay through the credits in every movie we see."
Well, what's funny is they kind of hint at it a little bit in the mid-credits sequence, and Fred Savage like, "I love staying to the end. It's a little secret, you know, like."
Yeah, and he's like, "It's a little private little thing, you know." So
they kind of hint that you should stay through to the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's also a sequence with Deadpool and Fred Savage at the end, and then there's a Stan Lee tribute.
Yeah.
There's also a Stan Lee tribute in this.
Yeah, but
it's better at the Deadpool 2.
Yeah, the
Deadpool 2 one's a little better.
It does a better one. It's just some text from Stan Lee, and says like, in memory of Stan Lee, and I forget that other guy's name.
Steve Ditko.
Yeah. And that's kind of all it is. But yeah, the Deadpool one I think just does a better job, and we'll probably be seeing these for a little while now.
Yeah,
at least through the
ones that he recorded cameos on, because Stan Lee has a cameo in Into the Spider-Verse as well.
Yeah. And he's got one. We know he's recorded like 2 more.
I think he has one for Captain Marvel, and for the next Avengers movie, I believe they recorded one for him.
Don't know about Spider-Man 2 though.
I don't know about that one or not.
Okay. So
I know that like they said that let's see, after what was the last Marvel movie came out?
I think it was Ant-Man. Was the last Marvel movie.
Yeah, what came out like right around the time he died?
That was Teen Titans Go.
No, that was before Venom, maybe.
Oh yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it might have been Venom.
Anyway, they had announced that they had recorded cameos for like 6 more movies or something before he had died. The 6 more movies that hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Before he died, so he'll be in a few more, and we'll probably continue to see tributes to him in each of those movies.
Yeah. But yeah, so stay to the end of the credits. But this one has that Miguel sequence.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah, so yeah, stay for that.
Also, I think they really got Peter Parker done well in this, as far as just his humor.
Yeah. Like his like banter with the villains while he fights them and stuff. They really nailed that.
Because yeah, Spider-Man is almost like Deadpool with clean jokes, as far as that goes.
Yeah, he does a lot of bantering with the villains and stuff. So what's next? Tonight we're seeing Mortal Engines is the plan, I think, right?
Yes. And then see the Mule
And then tomorrow we'll see The Mule. So I doubt we'll have a review up for Mortal Engines tonight. When this comes out, so probably the day after this comes out.
Probably, yeah.
And then I'm probably not gonna have one for The Mule tomorrow.
No.
I'm guessing maybe late tomorrow, but
we'll see what happens. See.
Monday at the latest, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And then next week is Mary Poppins and Bumblebee and Aquaman. I am only excited for one of those movies. Mary Poppins only has a 67 on IMDb. That's not real great. Or that's the Metascore on. Let's see what the IMDb rating is. I guess they don't have one yet. It's not out.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not a movie I was asking for, that's for sure.
I don't think anyone is asking for it. The things I've been seeing are people saying that Emily Blunt plays the perfect Mary Poppins, and I'm like, I don't necessarily think that's false. She looks like she probably does, but this just isn't a movie anyone needed or wanted. Like, right. I guess maybe the executives at Disney wanted. But I'm also suspicious because it's a freaking Mary Poppins movie, and there's been next to no promotion for it.
Yeah. Well, I felt Julie Andrews played the perfect Mary Poppins. So.
Yeah. But yeah, Bumblebee looks cool. It's getting, I guess, it's got a pretty high Metascore. I'm guessing from people have seen previews already, or critic previews already, or whatever. Mm-hmm. This Aquaman movie is an hour and 23 minutes, or 2 hours and 23 minutes long, by the way.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's a long one. Strap in. Jason Momoa is going to be the only redeeming quality of that, except maybe Willem Dafoe, because just Willem Dafoe is pretty much great in everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
But and so is Jason Momoa. He just keeps ending up in movies that flop.
Yeah,
which is not any fault of his own.
No.
There's also Welcome to Marwen next week. Jeez. Oh man. It's a 4-day weekend for me. Oh. So I don't know about for you. You don't have Christmas Eve off, do you?
No, probably not. So Monday though
is They Shall Not Grow Old.
Yeah.
Which is a documentary done by Peter Jackson using actual footage from World War I, but colorized and audio added to it. And it's supposed to be a really great documentary. So we're gonna see that. Probably not gonna review it. So that might
delay our Mule review.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. It might delay our review of the Mule. So we're not gonna review that because reviewing documentaries feels weird to me. But go check it out. From everything I've heard, it's supposed to be a really amazing.
Yeah, it's very limited. It's on the 17th and the 27th are the two showing dates, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And then the week after Christmas, or the week of Christmas, I guess. The weekend after Christmas. But the week of Christmas is Vice, which I think is the only thing we're seeing. Oh, and Stan and Ollie.
Oh, yeah.
Which is that Laurel and Hardy biopic. So 2 things with John C. Reilly coming out in the same week.
Mm-hmm. One's going to be definitely better than the other.
Yeah. Well, it's just, once again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. John C. Reilly does his best work when Will Ferrell's not involved. Will Ferrell brings John C. Reilly down. And it sucks because I know they're really good friends, and John C. Reilly will be in a movie if Will Ferrell just asks him to. But, yeah, so that's what we got to close out the year. Next year is going to be busy. We counted it up. There are 11 major movies from Disney next year.
Yeah.
That's including the Star Wars and Marvel movies. And that's not counting anything coming out from Fox, which I think they still technically don't own yet. They're still working out the details on that. But it's going to happen. It's for sure going to happen, but they haven't actually finalized it yet or something.
Yeah, there was a joke to that effect in Deadpool. Once Upon a Deadpool.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good. But yeah, so that's what we got coming up. So if any of that interests you, subscribe. Like the video if you want. Cool if you don't. No one really knows how YouTube works anymore, so I don't know if it really matters. I mean, the YouTube Rewind has 10 million downvotes now or whatever. Dislikes. Yeah. And it's still like one of the most watched videos on YouTube.
Because everyone has to know why everyone's trashing it.
Gotta understand the zeitgeist. Gotta watch the thing everyone hates.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of everyone hates, man, that Sonic the Hedgehog poster. Whoo-wee.
Man, we're gonna get some like defamation from Chris Chan. He's gonna like go destroy that poster somewhere.
Yeah, probably. All right. So that's what we got coming up. Check that out when it as it comes up. And yeah, until next time. Thanks for listening.
Excelsior.
Toodles.